Welcome to a very special edition of Laurel Community Spotlight. I'm City of Laurel Communications Director Audrey Barnes. It is my pleasure to be doing this interview with Mayor Craig A. Moe as he prepares to leave the mayor's office after 21 years. So Mayor Moe, thank you so much for being here with me and sitting down and doing this interview. Has reality set in for you? You're going to have a new title soon. It'll be former Mayor Craig A. Moe.
Sure.
Has reality set in?
That sounds nice too, though, you know. Yeah, I think the last several months I've been taking items out of my office a little bit at a time so that, you know, I didn't have to do it all at once, because that's when it all kind of hits you. So I've always done that when I'm involved with different things, and take a little bit at a time, and, you know, hopefully get used to what's going to happen after the 27th.
So we know you served 6 terms on the city council before you became mayor.
Right.
So your service with the city is well beyond 21 years. But the former mayors that you talked with after you became mayor kept telling you, get in, do some good work, and then get out. But you ignored their advice. What kept you coming back for 5 terms as mayor?
The people, and I think, you know, the things we were doing in the community and the staff here at city government. You know, I think we were making a difference. I think people that I was talking to in the community were very excited about each time an election came up, whether I was going to run again or give me their two cents worth. And, you know, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to finish a few things as well. Yeah, it's all good.
I was going to say, how close did you actually come to running for a 6th term?
I could say I thought about it a little bit, not long at all. I just thought timing was right. I thought it was a perfect opportunity, and I think others in the community and council members wanted to be involved, and you know, some wanted to run for mayor that I was hearing, and others in the community wanted to run for city council. And I think a different set of eyes and a different perspective is always good for our community. So
you've been at the helm of the city of Laurel during some unprecedented times. Did you ever in your wildest dreams think you'd be managing a pandemic as the mayor of Laurel? And what do you, looking back, what do you think about that? You proud of how the city did?
Yeah, I think we did good work. I think we worked with the county and our state officials and passed the information out to the community that needed to be passed out. We did certain things in all of our city buildings, and we needed to make sure that city services continued to be provided. So we were able to work through all of that. You know, former city administrator Bill Goddard, who passed away, Bill took the reins and ran with that, and can't say it enough that the work that he did on that really helped make a difference here in the community. And then working with all of our partners in the community, the food distributions, you know, our religious organizations, all of those that really make a difference in the community all the time, worked with us. And, you know, I remember you doing a film on that. And I can always remember, I thought I handled stress pretty good until I saw that film that you showed. I was like, I looked pretty stressed out and put on so much weight. And it was a tough time for everybody, but we all pulled together as a community, and that's really what made the difference.
Yeah, what the mayor is referring to is we did a documentary called COVID-19, 1 year later, the City of Laurel's survival story. So for those of you who want to see it, it's on our YouTube channel.
You want to be on TV, you better come back.
What was great about it is it was a behind-the-scenes look as we all went through that.
Right.
It was stressful.
People didn't really know what staff was going through, and many in the you know, different levels of the community, whether it was civic or nonprofits or the religious organizations, on what they were doing and the things that they had to do to help make this go away. And everybody pulling together, I think, made the difference in the community. And it was a tough time, no doubt.
And I think people should know that you came to the office every day. You were determined to keep the city of Laurel open during the pandemic, and you did it by coming to the office every single day.
Good afternoon. It's Mayor Craig Moe coming to you from the mayor's office at the Laurel Municipal Center.
We did. I think you might remember Bill sent everybody home, and then I showed up one day and it was Bill, me, and 3 other people. I said, "Where's everybody?" He said, "We had to send them home to protect them. They're all working." We did a lot of different things that we're still using today. You know, the platforms, the social media platforms, as well as our being able to hold meetings. All of those things we continue to use today. Hopefully, we'll never need them to that magnitude, but they're there and they're ready to go, and we know how to use them.
So you've been responsible for some tremendous changes during your 21 years in Laurel. And there's so many programs, I can't name them all, but you spearheaded the recycling program. You started a summer job program for Laurel kids, ages 14 to 17, Main Street revitalization efforts. Talk about what you're proudest of during your reign as mayor.
Well, I think, again, let me give credit where credit's due. Joe Robinson, I was on the council at the time. Mayor Robinson at that time started, the state came down with a mandate that everybody had to recycle, and Mayor Robinson at that time really took it and ran with it. I think what we did was keep it going.
Former Mayor Joe Robinson, I've known Joe a long time and served with him in the fire department.
Under my administration, and enhanced it. We've now done composting.
In partnership with the city's Public Works and with Michelle Blair serving as our contact, we set about to bring curbside composting to all public school children within the city limits.
We work with the city of Laurel to get that compost back so they can put it into our student gardens where they're growing vegetables and fruits to be able to make healthy choices. So
I think down the road will save the city money. It'll help in the environment. All of those different things that the city needs to keep looking at. To get our community involved, keep our community clean, safe, whatever it may be. And, I think that's one piece of this that people don't look at sometimes, that we have a budget from, July to June every year. And most people look at just that 1 year. Well, I think, as a department head, you're looking 3 and 4 years down the road. When we do budget, I want to know what it's going to be costing us 3 and 4 years down the road. And I think sometimes people forget that because we need to make sure we've got the money, that we're being sustainable, and that the programs we're putting into place, are really doing the job that they need, saving money and providing services to the community.
Speaking of services, you are leaving a tremendous legacy with the city's new multi-service center. You have to be so proud of that facility and what it's going to offer people in Laurel.
Yeah, I think, my position has always been, for many years, we had to watch out how many social services programs that the city, took on. And we had to work with our state and our county officials because of funding sources and all those different pieces. But the multi-service center, I think, is going to be something that I've said to other councils when they voted to buy that building. Down the road, you're going to look one day and be able to pat yourself on that back and say, I made the right decision, because that is going to change people's lives and it's going to help those in need. And that's really about, what our job is as government officials. So, and we, I said at the ribbon cutting, we couldn't have done this without our state officials helping us. And we really do appreciate our senators and delegates in Annapolis working with us on the funding.
The city of Laurel purchased this building in December of 2020 for $2.4 million.
We had a ribbon cutting, part of it's open.
3, 2, 1.
I'd like to have seen it all open, but I'd rather have it done right than rushed. And that's, what they're doing. They ran into pandemic issues because of the shipment of supplies and those types of things. So August of 2024, I think people be ready, and they'll be in for a treat when that facility opens and the services that it'll provide.
So recently I had a chance to ask you what were your 3 top things that you leave behind as a legacy for Laurel. One of them, you were very shy to take credit for helping to save our local hospital, but you absolutely did. And a lot of that is a testament to your mom and dad, who were volunteers there for what, 36 years?
Yeah, 36 years. We knew where they were every Friday night. They were working the front desk, volunteering. So My dad was very involved. They were both involved in the auxiliary. They were both, my dad was, chair of the auxiliary as well, and very involved in it. And, he hated to see what happened, but he understood. And, healthcare has changed. It's going to continue to change. Hopefully what we have put in place of working with the community. Actually, the community is the one that really, I believe, saved that hospital system and the campus. I think we would have seen maybe that property sold off. And I think with the community really coming together, the Laurel, Beltsville, greater Laurel area really is who came out and who made the difference. Writing letters, going to Annapolis. Mm-hmm. I mean, you all were involved in that. We held press releases had press releases and did press conferences. We didn't make many people happy, but you know what? This is our community. We're not going anywhere. So it did make a difference, and I'm glad to see it continuing to develop up at the site.
Mm-hmm. One of the other things you mentioned were our taxes in the city of Laurel. Mm-hmm. People should be very proud of the record you have in maintaining the taxes in Laurel. Go ahead and talk about that.
Well, we've been able to maintain the property tax for 16 years now at 71 cents. So it's been that way. We're living within the means of our tax dollar, that we bring in, and each department goes through, prioritizes, and they, comes to me. And as you're well aware, sometimes I cut, sometimes I add. But it's important because, everybody was, especially during the pandemic, everybody was hurting. Nobody could afford any more, money, tax money, or giving more money out in some cases. And we had a lot of people out there hurting. I just didn't think those were the right times of, raising taxes, a property tax. That's really all we have here is the property tax. We do get income tax, but our property tax is what really makes a difference within our budget and how we operate. So we'll see. I think, we've been able to do some development, some redevelopment, which brings your tax base up. I think within the next couple of years, they'll have to take a good hard look at it and see if they can continue to manage. And I understand people will say, well, you haven't raised property tax, but my assessment goes up. Well, yeah, so does mine. Mm-hmm. And I don't control the assessments. All I can tell you is the reason the assessments go up is because of what we're doing in the community or anybody's community. So, that kind of was my philosophy on the tax dollar. I'm trying to pay it just like everybody else, and it can be tough at times. But I think we did the right thing, and I think the next mayor and city council will continue to have to look at it, look a few years down the road on budget, and figure out what they need. And if they have to adjust it, then they should let the people know.
So just to get on a personal note, I guess, you're sitting in the Laurel TV studio. Mm-hmm. You plucked me off the streets of Washington, D.C., where I was a reporter, and said, hey, you want to come help me revitalize our public access TV station? And so we branded all of this Laurel TV, and we've won a bunch of awards since then. But this was all at your urging. This was your idea to revamp Laurel TV and make it the communication tool that it is. How do you feel about our communications efforts? I mean, you've been behind it all the way.
I didn't pluck you off the streets of Washington. You were in the studio. So, no, Audrey and I go back. We were in school together at Laurel High School. And at that time, I think Pete Parringer was leaving. And I knew that I wanted to get back into doing more what we're doing here today and at the local level. And I think... I don't know who called you. However it was, we met over in Columbia. We met at the
P.F. Chang's restaurant.
P.F. Chang's. And I brought Christy and I brought Marty, and I think it was Luann, the three of us. Luann knew you, Marty and Christy didn't. And I said, here's who we want to make as the next communication director. And you started telling us about all your different ideas and different things you could do. And I can remember leaving, everybody going, that's the one we want to have. Oh. And we asked you if you wanted to come to work for us, and you were prepared. And I think maybe you said, give me a few days. And next thing I knew, you were here at Laurel and done good things. You and all your, your staff here continue to do a lot for the city, getting the communications out, getting so many different things that happen here in the city. But I still hear that I didn't know a thing about it. When I stand at the polls, somebody will go, well, I didn't know that's what you were doing.
Right.
We're publicizing it all the time. So, but no, I appreciate everything you have done. And you built the studio up, which is what we wanted to do. And whether, MayorElect Sidnor, if that's what he wants to do or go in a different route, you still have this all set up. And hopefully he takes advantage of it as well and to get the word out on what he's doing.
One of the things you and I talked about early on was you wanted a podcast room.
Oh, yeah.
You've been talking about a podcast room since, I want to say 2016, 2017, before
That was
podcasts.
a new thing coming in, yeah.
Podcasts weren't really even out there, but you wanted one.
Yeah.
And we delivered.
Hi, folks. It's Mayor Craig Moe, and I want to welcome you to Moe News, where we provide you what's happening in and around the city.
I just thought it was a different avenue of getting the word out. And, I didn't know what I was doing. I just saw somebody else or read an article. I'm like, Audrey, why can't we have one of these? You're like, we can if you give me the money. So it took a little while, but we got you the money. But I think it's working well.
It's out there, yeah.
No, I'm glad. And hopefully others out in the community take advantage of it as well and make a little money on the side, quite frankly, because I am concerned about, what's going to happen from the FCC level when we talk about cable access and the funds that we're able to get back from these Verizon and Comcast and others. So keep up the good work and do what you can to, bring in funds.
Well, one thing about having all these different avenues to tell people about events is that it gets the word out. Like you said, it's just another avenue to let people know, like we can get emergency notifications out, tell them about community events. And speaking of community events, Laurel has so many. Are there some favorites that you're going to be stepping away as mayor, but just really look back at, I loved when we did certain community things?
July 4th for me is where I got my start.
Yes.
That's Mayor DePietro at the time. I was at the firehouse. They wanted people to get involved and help out. I did the fireworks for many years. I love Main Street because, again, it brings the business and community together. I mean, all of our festivals bring the community together, and that's really what, hopefully, we continue to do that. I'm pretty sure we're going to do all of these different things and hopefully more. But I think that's badly needed, quite frankly. I think the more we can get families and together in our communities, solves a lot of different problems, hopefully, with people understanding that come and do things with your family in our parks or go and do our programs or come to the festival July 4th. You don't need to go, all over the place. We have fireworks right here in the city. There's new events that are taking place. They added the Pride Festival, and they've added Juneteenth over the last several years. And again, I think there's something here for everybody, for those that live here and those that want to come and live close by to be involved.
And you recently have started talking about the latest census figures, the 2020 census figures, which were, and the number of people who actually did the census was way up over the last one. But it tells you the face of Laurel now, the challenges that the new mayor-elect will have. So what advice, will you give to Mayor-elect Keith Sidnor as he takes the helm?
I've learned, if he asks for my advice, I'll be more than glad to give it to him. He just went through an election. He was out there door knocking. He was out there telling people what he was going to do and his priorities. And all I say to him is follow those priorities, especially if you told the community. And if it's something you can't achieve, you just need to get back out to the community, make sure they understand why. But as I've said to the mayor-elect, I plan on stepping aside. I'm not one of those that is going to try to continue to be a mayor or an elected official. I know my place. But if they call and they ask for my help or my 2 cents worth, I'll be more than happy to do it. But I've learned long ago, if you're stepping aside, step aside. And that's what I'm doing.
All right. I was going to ask what's next for former Mayor Craig A. Moe. What's next for you?
Well, I've had a couple people offer me jobs, a couple people offer me volunteer positions. I'm just going to go, I have place in Florida that I'm going to go and take a little time off and kind of gather my thoughts and see what I want to do next. I'm going to do something. I'm not going to be sitting around. Maybe they'll see me at one of the local stores stocking shelves. I don't know. Maybe I'll go get a job or something. But I'm going to stay busy, and I'm going to continue to be involved in my community. This is where, this is where I'm living. I'm not moving. I live up the street. So, maybe I'll travel. I doubt it. I'm not a big traveler. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, the city held a farewell reception for you on November 20th, and more than 200 of your family and friends were there. We're going to take a pause right now and show you some of the wonderful things that they had to say about you.
Great.
Thanks, Craig, for everything you've done for the city of Laurel, for our family, and for being a great friend to Dad, Mom, to me, to Betty Ann. We wish you nothing but the best. Thanks again.
Mayor Mo, I just want to thank you so very much for everything that you have done for the city of Laurel for the last over 3 decades, but more importantly, everything you have done for me from when I was just a city planner, moving along, making sure that all our zoning applications were approved.
I never ever thought I'd see this day come. I wish you all the luck in the world. I wish you the best.
I'm just wishing you nothing but the best. We've been through a lot. You've been a great colleague of mine. I'm just so glad to have known you. And I'm going to keep in touch with you. But you just enjoy yourself.
I would tell you it's been an honor and a pleasure having you as mayor, although I live in Howard County. You, as you know, were my son's godfather. And we always, I can still remember the day that we had Alan baptized. You had that big smile on your face. Shannon, Barbara, and I send our best to you. We wish you nothing but best in your future endeavors, and that's it, buddy. So God bless you.
Mayor Mo, do you have any closing thoughts? Something you want the community to know that maybe I didn't ask you? 21 years.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I forgot I was the first mayor that canceled Halloween, because when I first came in, we had the sniper going on. That's how long ago it was. That was one of the first, because it was in the DMV. There were a lot of different things going on. Those were scary times for a lot of people. And I was thinking about that the other day, how I had to sit down with command staff and listen to recommendations. And I got some very nice letters and emails from people. So, about when I had to cancel it. So, that was being sarcastic, by the way.
Well, when you think about it, you had the sniper, you had the 9/11 terrorists at a Laurel hotel, you had the pandemic.
Had snowstorms, floods.
Yes.
Had quite a bit. And that's not going to go away. So whoever's sitting in the mayor's chair is going to have to make those decisions. They're going to have to work with our Department of Emergency Management and the communications department and others to get the word out to people and continue to educate people on things. And, we've been very fortunate. We haven't had much snow the last year, but maybe the MayorElect will get broken in about driving snow plows when they need extra help. So we'll see what happens this year. But listen, for me, I'm not going anywhere. I've enjoyed it. The good and the bad, and I appreciate the citizens of Laurel, providing me the opportunity to serve. I know that didn't always agree with my policies. There's one thing they can't take away. I always gave 100%, and I know that Mayor-elect Sidnor is going to do the same thing. So I'm very excited about him and the new council getting sworn in and moving the city to the next level.
Well, we appreciate everything you've done for the city of Laurel for the last 21 plus years. Please enjoy your retirement and come back and visit us when you can.
Thanks, Audrey. Appreciate it.
Okay. And thank you, everyone, for watching this special edition of Laurel Community Spotlight. I'm Communications Director Audrey Barnes. You can find this full broadcast on our Laurel TV official YouTube channel. Thank you, Mayor Mo.
Thank you.